Okay, so a buddy of mine, Mark Nicholson, issued a challenge the other day to his any of his buddies that cooked. So today's my day off, and I've decided to make spaghetti sauce. So sort of wanted to get this right from the beginning. So what I've got here is some ground beef, and over here I've got some breakfast sausages. Would help if I turned the burner on. So I don't know, I'm turning them, I didn't have the heat on. So anyway, there we go. I'm going to start with that for now. And I can't really do this live because I don't have a fancy stand like Mark does. But what I will do is throw a bunch of clips together so you can see how everything comes along. Okay, so what I've got going on over here, we actually do, we use a slow cooker for our spaghetti sauce. You don't have to do it this way, we do, just so that it thickens it up a little bit. Now, I know there's some people that don't care for prepackaged stuff, but we do use vegetable mix for spaghetti. It's all cut up nice and fine. And for those of you who, like, you can't cut up your own veggies, well, I can, but sometimes we do this before I leave for work, and Patty has kids through the day, so this can sit and simmer. You can throw it together really quickly. If you want to use fresh vegetables, there's no reason why you can't. And today I'm using sweet basil marinara for my sauce. So I'm going to pour that right in there, like so, and get that started. I have to save this. There's some folks in the house that don't like vegetables and stuff in with their spaghetti sauce, so I'm going to save that. That's the 4 cheese. I'm going to save that for those who don't care for souped up sauce, so to speak. Alright. Okay, so now that I've got the sauce in there and I started looking it all over, I need more sauce, so I'm actually going to use the 4 cheese. I'll go over to the store and I'll get another bottle for our fussier spaghetti eaters. Yeah, there, that's better. So what I normally do, if we're doing this and I'm going to work, we would set this for 10 hours on ours, or the lowest setting, so we can sit and simmer all day long. And what happens is it thickens up the sauce, and we're going to add a few other things to it before it all gets said and done. So if you have the time, it's great. Normally it's started by now. I was a little later this morning because, to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it. So I've got it set for 6 hours, but I'll be here through the day to keep an eye on it and see how it's making out. It smells. This stuff right here, if you're not sure about the 4 cheese Classico, it has 4 cheeses, which are, oh come on guys, you gotta tell us what the cheese is. Let me see here: Parmesan, Provolone, Ricotta, and Romano. So it smells heavenly. It's really, really good stuff. And mixed with the sweet basil, it makes a really good mixture. So I'm going to put a few more of the frozen veggies in there because I just had a part bag, but I do have another bag here. And I'm going to let that start cooking away, and then I'll add my ground beef later on, and then I will cut up. Well, you know what? I'll save that for later. Haha. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the ground beef, literally and figuratively. It's starting to get pretty well thawed. Normally I would take it out of the freezer the night before, but like I said, I kind of forgot. So I'm just going to go ahead and start adding a few things. Pepper, of course. I'll add a little bit of pepper in there, like so. Give it a little bit of flavor. Throw in a little salt. And that's pink Himalayan salts. My Brant for that is pink Himalayan salts are really good for cooking, but that's all they're good for. They don't do anything else. Okay, so what else do I put in? Well, here's the thing. I have some pretty neat stuff. I've got some smoked sea salts. So I'm going to put a few of those in. That adds a nice smoky flavor. You don't need much of this because it's fairly strong. The other thing that I will add Don't tell Patty. She'll know anyway. Old Bay seasoning. A little bit of Old Bay in almost anything you cook. And you don't need to go nuts with it. Old Bay just needs a little tiny bit. Put that in there like so. And then I'll go through and see what we've got and be like, all right, what am I going to add? What do I want in there? So I've got time to last me a lifetime. Take a little pinch of that, just like that. There's a pinch right there, just between your finger and thumb, and grind it just a little bit, and it makes it even finer. And in it goes. I make a mess sometimes when I make a mess most times when I cook. So a little bit of thyme. You get a nice smell, a nice aromatic smell off of the thyme. If you like rosemary, I have some rosemary leaves. So I do the same thing, take a little pinch. Now the leaves, they're a little bit bigger, so I'll put them in my palm and try to grind them up a little bit smaller, just a little bit, put them in like that. So little things like that. There's no hard and fast rules for what I put in with the spaghetti sauce. There are certain things I look for. If Patty has something kicking around, like Epicure has oven fry seasoning, it's pizza. Well, as far as I'm concerned, pizza and let us shake. It's clumping on me. Pizza and spaghetti are in the same family. So again, a little bit of that. Just to add, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's a bad thing. You shouldn't do that, by the way. Just so you know, when you pour over top of the steam gets inside your bottle, and that's why stuff clumps. But it's a hard habit for me to break. But if you're wondering how to keep stuff from clumping, put it into something or use a tablespoon or whatever, and then put it in. It keeps the steam from getting in your bottle. Don't have bad habits like me. So then I will go through. I'm just going to move the camera here. Right above the stove. I got all kinds of stuff up there to put in here. And it's whatever you're feeling like. If you're the cook, you know, it's whatever you're thinking, you know, what do I want in that today? What flavors do I want to bring out? What time of year is it? Some things are more of a summery flavor, some things are more of a wintry flavor. There, yeah, that's smelling really, 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 really nice. Right there. The other thing you can add, I have some Clubhouse taco seasoning, something like that will help. I'm not going to put any in today. I have a couple of things from Emerald Lagasse's recipes that I got years ago. There's a Southwest seasoning, which is very similar to the taco seasoning, and then there's a rustic rub. And the rustic rub, I'm actually going to put a little bit of that in today. Let me grab a spoon. And just going to put a little bit. Just a little bit. Rustic rub is good for putting on meat, specifically on roasts. You can put it on chicken, things like that. But again, you don't need a whole lot of it. So there. I want to let that cook up for a while. My sausages are coming along nicely over there. My slow cooker's starting to get fired up. And we'll be back with more. Okay, so the sausages are done. So I'm going to take them right off. And what I'm going to do now with the sausages, I was talking about earlier, I'm going to cut them up. So, what we do is, pardon me, I got to get a bowl. Is I'll take and cut these up. In pieces about so big, basically bite-sized. And what I do is I put those right in the spaghetti sauce. Now, I would love to say that I came up with this idea, but I did not. I actually learned that little tidbit from my mother-in-law, who used to make spaghetti sauce with all kinds of everything. And as much as I'm not a real big mushroom fan, the canned ones, I like fresh mushrooms, I don't care for canned. Kathy put in, I don't know if she's made her spaghetti sauce in the last little while or not. I'll have to ask her. I haven't had any. If she's made it, she hasn't told me about it. So this was something she did. She would put in these little breakfast sausages. And it doesn't matter what flavor. It's whatever you like. So cut them up in little tiny pieces like that. With a regular package, you'll get about a bowl full. And what that does is it just boosts up. First of all, it adds flavor. These ones we got were a brown sugar and maple, I believe. And it just adds another layer of flavor, because when that's in there and you take a bite of spaghetti and all of a sudden you get a piece of the sausage, it's like, ooh, there's a little burst of sweet there. It is really, really good. And I know that you're probably thinking sweet. Well, it's not overpowering sweet because it's in with all the acid of the tomatoes and whatnot, and it's just a nice balance. So whatever you like for breakfast sausages, if you like to take the skins off, take the skins off. It's no big deal. It doesn't matter. So cut them up and then toss them. You can throw them in the slow cooker at any time because they tend to keep their shape, even with the skins off. Once they're cooked, they'll keep that shape, and you'll have little pieces in there. So that's little tip for something that maybe some folks didn't know. Okay, so everything's all cooked as far as the burger and the sausage goes. So I divvied up the sausage I divvied up the hamburger because, like I said, we've got a couple of folks in the house that just like regular sauce. So I'm gonna put that meat right in. Now I use lean hamburger. If you use lean or extra lean, I don't drain any of the fat off. The reason for that is, as you notice, I was putting stuff in the hamburger as I was cooking it, and you lose part of that flavor if you drain out the fat. So if you're using regular ground, I would suggest cook it, drain it, then put it back in the pan at a very, very low heat. Put all your seasonings in and mix it, and that'll help get some flavor into your ground beef, or if you don't like any in there. This is starting to soften up nicely. The frozen vegetables have, I think I've pretty much thawed out. So I'm going to put the sausage in. There you go. And just mix that all right in together. And if you cook up the hamburger and the sausage the night before you're going to have this meal, all you have to do is pop open your bottle of sauce, put that in, add your cold meats, add your vegetables, the frozen ones or fresh, whichever, have it all cut up and ready. Throw it all in the slow cooker first thing in the morning, put the lid on, set it for your low setting, and let it percolate all day long. And when you get home, your house will smell absolutely amazing. I kid you not. So there you go. That's some spaghetti sauce. I always flatten out anything that's in a slow cooker so that it's all tucked down in there nice and neat. I don't know why. I don't think it makes any difference, but just one of my weird things that I do. So there you go. I'll try to get a shot of a plate of spaghetti with the sauce on it at the end of the day, and or if there's anything else I think to add, I'll add that on. But for now, I'm pretty sure that's it. So alrighty. Hopefully you try it. Hopefully you enjoy it.